Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamson Entertainment. And welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help. You can like and subscribe so you never miss a conversation. But most importantly, please share this video. Get the word out there to this community. We can talk about all the things that we love. I recently just saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, the latest movie in the Turtle franchise, and again, it's getting rebooted. I mean, we just had live action ones come out less than 10 years ago. I don't know. It's what they do in Hollywood. Starring Micah Abbey, Shaman Brown Jr., Nicholas Cantu, Brady Noon, Ayo Edebiri, sorry for mispronouncing that, Maya Rudolph, John Cena, Seth Rogen, Giancarlo Esposito, Jackie Chan, and Ice Cube. First things first, I realized this is a kid's movie, and I went into this movie with that mentality. I'm doing my best not to hold on and expect what I love to be up on the screen, because that happened in the 90s, and I know it's not coming back. With that being said, this is an enjoyable movie. It changes the origins of the Turtles slightly. So instead of just the lab TCRI creating mutagen and it falling into the sewers and mutating the Turtles and a rat, it's simply Baxter Stockman. He's trying to create a family of mutants because humans don't understand him. And that's the central theme of this movie. Now, Baxter Stockman in the beginning is human still, but he's just, I don't know, extremely socially awkward, and he sees humanity rejecting him for that, and so he wants to create mutants so he's not alone. And ever since the Turtles and Splinter became what they are, Splinter matured faster than them. Be a little weird if they were all teenagers, so they need some kind of a parental figure, and it's always Splinter, or else it would really change the Turtles. And Splinter tried to go out into the real world with the Turtles, and he had a really bad experience, and since then he's been an overprotective father. And on Baxter Stockman's side of things, his first creation, who's become Superfly. So before all of that, there's a raid on Dr. Stockman, because it'd just be a bad thing to have mutants running around, or at least that's what the government thinks. And so they try to stop him. It doesn't say they kill Baxter Stockman. Presumably he gets arrested, or maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. But the Fly, that's the first mutant, and the other mutants he's working on escape after the raid. And then it flash forwards to 15 years later. And this is a side of the Turtles I've never seen before, where, the second movie in the latest live action is called Out of the Shadows. They have expressed being part of the human world, but this one, it's different because they're actually teenagers, and they're actually played by teenagers. Normally it's like 20-somethings, 30-somethings voice acting these guys. And I never really thought about it until this movie, because, the title of the comic series and ultimately the movie and TV series is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not 20-somethings, not 30-somethings. But for the longest time, they've been portrayed that way. Now, I am aware of some, I think it came out on Cartoon Network, or is it all Nickelodeon? And this is a Nickelodeon movie. But I am aware that after I stopped watching Ninja Turtles in the 90s, between then and the live action one, there were other movies about them. And I think they were teenagers in that one, like literally teenagers, instead of just kind of being like surfer dudes, like how I grew up with them. And it's interesting to actually see them be teenagers and go through teenager dilemmas. A lot about being a teenager is discovering who you are and wanting to be accepted, or forging your own path, or both. And that certainly is done in this movie. But like I said in the beginning, this is a kid's movie, and so it's not necessarily made for all the fans. It's made for the new fans. And I would say this is targeting I think the youngest kid I saw there was maybe 5 or 6. So probably 5 to 10 years old this is targeting. And oddly enough, in my YouTube feed, the first season of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show in the 90s was suggested to me, and I started watching it. I was like, yeah, this was made for kids too. Because in that show and in this movie, there are a lot of things said that are a little redundant. I unfortunately can't think of any examples examples off the top of my head, but there are a few times I watched the first episode of the 90s show, and watching this, I'm like, well, you kind of just said that in the same sentence. And other just corny stuff like that. It's a kid's movie, so it's going to have that in there. Although I am fully aware that there are kid movies out there that aren't so corny, like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. But they do acknowledge the older fans. There is a ton of Easter eggs in here. I was the only person to die laughing. In one of the fight scenes, they're in the city and they crash into a car and the car's playing Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice. I died. It was so funny. With the Turtles actually being teenagers and being played by teenagers, so is April O'Neil, is a reporter for the high school newspaper. She once tried to be a news anchor for the high school, and she had a bad experience, and she's been picked on ever since for it. And so she's been investigating the mutant stories, or at least why all these devices seem to be disappearing, and what's going on with them, and who's stealing them, and what's it leading up to. She teams up with the Turtles to do exactly that. She starts filming them, and starts, I guess, putting a documentary together to ultimately reveal the Turtles to the world and show that mutants exist and they're not all bad. Overall, I did enjoy myself with this movie. I liked this new origin story. It works. And there is a teaser in the middle of the credits, so I suggest you wait the couple minutes to watch that. And I do recommend, if you have kids, if they already love the Ninja Turtles or if they don't know anything about the Ninja Turtles, this is a good movie to get them into it. So go out with your kids, see this in the theaters. It's definitely worth it. However, if you're an older fan like me, I would just catch this on streaming. Those are my thoughts on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.